telling you guys, if you have a mobile operation of any sort and you operate during the winter, especially if you have a diesel vehicle, one, if it's an older Ford like this, plug it in or else it won't start the next morning. And two, even if you do plug it in, start it every few days, because if you don't, you'll be jumping it. Today we're going to be going over how to detail a 30-foot enclosed trailer by yourself. So let's get to it. Hey guys, how's it going? This is Curtis Denlinger here with Clean Fleet. Today the topic of the video is detailing completely enclosed landscape trailers by yourself. Let's get into it. And by let's get into it, I mean let's roll the intro. So this trailer, just as you might have guessed, and as you probably saw in the thumbnail, was a big, huge enclosed trailer. The trailer was probably about 30 feet long, I think about 8 feet wide, maybe a little bit wider. They had a bunch of different cabinets up on the side walls they could put some of their equipment in, some shelves on the other side. We got the call that they wanted their trailer to be detailed. They wanted done interior, exterior. They had a garage that we could work inside of, which was great. Oh, one other important thing. It turned out that that the week that we decided that we're going to do this, I was the only one that was available to work during the day that week. Hence the title for this video, you know, big trailer detail, one guy. I was that guy. They wanted the exterior washed. They wanted it waxed. The interior, they wanted it all wiped down, cleaned. And the big thing with the interior of this trailer, they did not want any like pressure washing or like hosing down or anything on the inside. This trailer, they did not want that done. They said they didn't want any, a lot of water in there that could possibly seep up inside the walls and start to rot out those walls prematurely. So let's get into the process. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I did to get the thing detailed, and show you some of the products that we use as well to get the job done. There's probably more than one way to wash your vehicle, more than one way to wax it, different products to use that might work better for you, some work better for us, some might work better for another guy, you know. But yeah, this is just how we did it. So please feel free to take these tips and use them if you'd like, and if not, you know, we'd be open to hearing what you do, so that we can, you know, possibly improve our services so that we can serve our customers better. So if you see anything in here that you might do a little bit differently, feel free to comment down below with your suggestion. So first thing we did was wash the exterior of the trailer. First day we got there, got the pressure washer out, hooked up. Being a facility that did fire research, they just hooked it straight up to a fire hydrant and then reduced it down to what we needed for our garden hose. And then we washed the whole trailer. Worked our way, started at the front and did the front, and we always wash top down. To us, it just doesn't make sense to, you know, wash the bottom half of the trailer and then go to wash the top half and then have that dirt from the top half stream down to the bottom half, and then you're washing the whole thing over again. So we always wash top to bottom whenever we're washing something. This is a product that we use from Chemical Guys. Yeah, Honeydew Snow Foam Auto Wash. We have another soap wax combo that we use when we're doing big fleets, but this snow foam is what we use when we're doing details. It seems to do just a little bit of a better job, and it also is compatible, especially formulated to be used with a foam cannon. Before we wax, it's always important to go over the vehicle with clay bar. Clay bar is basically, you can have the more standard or conventional form, which basically looks like silly putty. I don't have it with me right now, but yeah, or you have a synthetic, they also have now. You spray this clay luber is what it's called. It's basically lubricant for the clay bar. Spray that on there and then rub the clay bar on the surface, and then that gets all these small, like microscopic pieces of dirt off the surface of the car. You don't want to have all those contaminants all over the vehicle when you're waxing or polishing or anything like that, because then they get stuck in your polishing pad, your applicator pad, and then they can actually form microscopic scratches in the surface. And then once you're done with those, you're going to use any kind of, you know, towel to any type of towel to buff that off once it's done. Another thing that we always do, I always like to fold these up. Fold them up, use one side to wipe down the surface and get most of the moisture off, and then flip it over to the dry side and use that to get the last, like, 5 or 10% of the moisture off. Maybe to do one side of that trailer, I may have used maybe 4 towels to clay bar instead of having to use like 10 or 15. Alright guys, so then after you do the clay bar, you can move on to the waxing. On the trailer you have the metal panels that make up the sides, and each panel is about 3 or 4 feet wide. And usually I clay bar one panel and then 2 panels, the second panel I mean, and then I go back and wax the first one, then clay bar the third, wax the second, clay bar the fourth. It just would have gotten really tedious and boring for me if I had just clay barred the entire side of that 30-foot trailer, then wax it. Just kind of gives me a little bit of variety. So let's talk a little bit about the waxing that we did on this trailer. We did some with this product, the Carnauba wax that Chemical Guys puts out. Chemical Guys also now has out this new wax they call Butter Wet Wax, which seems to work just as well, if not a little bit better than that stuff, where I just prefer working with a little bit more. So that's what we'd use. That we put on with these applicator blocks. You just do a section at a time, just rub it on. This stuff goes on really easy. You can rub it on and let it on until it clouds up, or you can just wipe it off right away. For the polishing, I used this product put out by Mother's, Power Cone 360. You just attach this to a drill, and then you just dip that into, or put some polish onto the end of this. Just work on a section at a time. Just use that, just do a section, do that, do it until it turns black, a little hazy, and then buff it off. Most of it off with that. Flip it over, last 10% with the other side. And really, if you try to get all of it off with one side of the towel, it's just not all going to come off, because then you've got some of that residue that's on this side, and then when you still try to get that last little bit off, some of this residue kind of comes back onto the metal. So you get most of it off with that, flip it over to the clean side, get the last 10% off, and then you've got a piece of metal that looks almost brand new. The one last thing we did with the exterior was dress the tires. A lot of people like to use like an Armor All product or something like that out of the spray can, or something you put on that, you put it on the tire, spray it on, wipe it off, whatever, and the tire looks like it, is just covered in water. This Silk Shine product that goes on, it cleans it up, and it brings the tire back to looking like its natural brand new self. One thing that we do that a lot of people don't, some people, especially with stuff that comes out of a spray bottle or an aerosol can, they'll spray it right on the tire and then do some wiping, or just leave it there. That can leave you susceptible to having excess foam that's on the tire that when you start driving will spray onto the paint, make that look a little dirty, or down onto the rims, make them look dirty. We like to use, again, another kind of applicator pad. Just spray it on, drip it on a little bit, and then rub the Silk Shine onto the tire. And then if there is a little bit of excess, if this gets too wet, if there's excess, again, just use a towel, get that little extra off, and then you're good to go. So then we move to the inside. The inside was, we'll just say it was a much bigger project than we were initially expecting it to be. We went in there, and like I said, there cannot be any pressure washing done on this vehicle. So what I chose to do was use a wet dry vac and vacuum up the whole floor to get all the dirt off. And then we have a couple different interior cleaners that we use. We have a product from Chemical Guys, Inner Clean, which is more of just a general cleaner, and then we have something that's called Nonsense, which is a no-nonsense cleaner that is for more of the heavy-duty stuff. We use Nonsense for most of it. And I use this brush to do the whole floor of a 9-foot by 30-foot long trailer. So, like I said, it had a little bit of texture to it so that there wouldn't be any risk of slipping and falling. So I just do, again, in section. I got one of my old spray bottles, washed it out with some water, then put the Nonsense in here, and then started spraying down the floor. Just so I could kind of control, one, where this was going, and there wasn't spots where there's a lot of it that could possibly soak up into the wall and get moisture in the wall like they didn't want. And then just so I wasn't putting too much down, I just got to the point where I was thinking that I was putting too much down, so I put it in the spray bottle and just kind of controlled how much product I was putting on the floor, spraying it down and making sure that I got everything up. And then I'd use a wet dry vac and would just vacuum up all that moisture, make sure we got everything out of there. This floor was very dirty. There were some spots you could definitely tell where the high traffic areas were in the middle kind of the trailer, from the door and then down the center of the trailer. The sides weren't that bad, but the middle section of the trailer and then out to the one side door, you definitely tell that's where the most traffic was. On the sides, it usually just took one scrub down. On the middle of it, I usually had to go back a second time. In a few spots, I had to scrub it 3 different times to get all the dirt up. And then really the last thing we did was, again, using the nonsense to wipe down the rest of the interior. The whole thing was just spraying down the cabinets, spraying down the desktop, spraying down, you know, whatever, you know, the shelves, wiping it down, sometimes twice, and you know, that's how we got it clean. That's an overview, a quick overview of what I did by myself to detail a 30-foot enclosed, you know, landscape, or in this case it was a fire research trailer. Again, it took me parts of 6 different days to wash, wax, you know, clay bar, then wax, polish, dress tires, you know, hand clean out the whole inside of the trailer. It was quite a process. We got it done. That's how we did it. Hopefully that was informational, that was helpful for you. If it was, you know, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll have more of these tutorials coming out in the near future. If you've got questions, ask them. We'll be looking at the comments. We'll try to answer them as quickly, as professionally as we can. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next video.